refining fire. Everybody shall refining fire. The refining fire comes to burn away excesses. It comes to burn away excesses. Now, refining fire, listen to me. Refining fire is only for saved people. Refining fire is not come to save you, because you will not stay. You remember the story I told you about the silversmith. The silversmith will put the silver in the midst, the blue part of the fire, and sit there and watch it. If you are not saved, you're going to jump out of that fire. Okay, so refining fire is for saved people that want God to prune them so that they can go into a deeper depth in God. The refining fire is those that have sold out to the world. They are not one step in and one step out. They are the ones that are committed to God, because refining is painful. Refining is painful. It is painful, and you have to be determined that God, you can cut me, you can shush me, you can fry me, you can saute me, you can dry me, whatever you do, I'm staying with you. And I'm staying with you because when I come out, I will be pure as. So we did not put gold in the fire to become gold.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Gold was already gold. When we put it in the fire, we just separate it from what is clinging to us. Oh my God. There are some stuff that is clinging to us that doesn't belong to us. There are some lying, there are some cheating, there are some little stuff that is clinging to us, but that's not what you are. What you are is the gold on the inside, and the Lord will allow you to go through the fire. We are talking about the purifying fire. So let's look at 4 ways that God purifies us. The four things that God does to purify us. The first thing, and I think we only dealt with the first thing last time, it was the purpose. He has a purpose. The purification is beyond you. The purification is beyond you. God has a purpose. It's called 3 P's and an R. Number 1 is purpose. Number 2 is plan. Number 3 is God's provision. And number 4 is your reaction to it. So it's your response to it. So let's dig. We dealt with the purpose last time. We dealt with the purpose, but I'm going to touch on it because I want you to learn this, that you can recite it in your sleep. That it will become you. Because when God is truly refining you, it's too late for you to try to learn. You better know it by now. Otherwise, you will not be rejoicing in your tribulation. Okay? You will not be able to rejoice. But you have to know that the reason why you are going through refining is because God has a purpose. And this is the purpose of God. Number 1, He wants you to become like Jesus. No. This is God's purpose, not your purpose. You can even become like you. But God's purpose that He created you is for you to be like His only begotten Son. So, since you are not like His only begotten Son, but on the inside you are gold, you are like His begotten Son, and dirt or sin has attached itself to you from Eden. So a burning away has to take place to separate those things. So number 1 is that He wants you to become just like Jesus. I want to be like. We sing it, but we have no clue what we are singing. We have no clue. And God says, since you sing it, I will make sure that I give you what you asked for. So we will see how God takes us through grinding. Because Jesus went through grinding Himself. And God has to do that because God has to answer Job. Job said, God, you are not a man. You don't know what I'm going through. And God said, I got an answer for you. I will become a man and go through what you're going through, yet without sin. So Jesus is the response to Job's question. So number one is that he wants you to become just like Jesus. We're still on the purpose. Everybody shall purpose. Number two, as a church, we are to preach and teach people how to become Christ-like. How to become Christ-like. Let's hear what the Bible says. 2 Corinthians 3:18. Let's see how God will put Jesus before us and we will start looking at him. While we are looking at him, we are conforming. We are turning. Just like God put you in the fire and start looking at you until he can see his picture in you. So also the Bible showed us that while we are in the fire and God is looking at us, so to see his picture, we are to be looking at Jesus so we can transform into him. And when we transform into Jesus, God will see his picture in us. Oh, yeah, I didn't get it. Let's try on this side. When silversmith put the silver in the fire, he will sit down there. Y'all remember last week, he sit down. He doesn't travel and put you. He sit down there and look at the silver. And the only time that the silver is ready to come out is when he can see himself in the silver. But you are the silver. And you are being put in the fire. And the only way you can get out of that fire is when God sees himself. But the way you can make God see himself is for you to look unto Jesus. And when you look unto Jesus, you will be transformed into Jesus. And since Jesus is God, when God look at Jesus, he will see himself. Look at this scripture. But we all with open face, beholding as in a glass the glory of the Lord. As we beholding in a glass as the glory of the Lord, listen to what happened. We are now changed into the same image. So while we are on the fire, we are looking unto Christ. We are beholding as if in the glass. But where is Christ? How can we see Christ so that God can see himself through us because he's Christ? But Christ is nowhere here. But if you remember, God in Christ. In the beginning was the Word, which is Christ. The Word was with God, which is Christ. And the Word was God. So the God that put you in the fire and beholding you and want to see his image in you, if you continue to behold him as if in a glass, then you will be changed to the same image. And that change is not just a one-time change. This is where we miss it. As he put you in there and you beholding and he's beholding you and you keep changing and you keep changing and he say that's glory number one. Keep on looking. And then you keep burning you and say, God, you need to take me out now. I have changed. God say, yeah, I'm going to take you out, but you only attain glory number one. Let's go deeper in me. Let's go to glory number two. By the time you get to glory number 57, God say, I still got more glory waiting on you. Some of us quit before we get to glory 119. God says stay in there because it is from changing from glory. The Bible is for real. The Bible is for real. So even as by the Spirit of the Lord, it is the Spirit of the Lord internally that is changing us. That is why, hey, listen to this now. every December 29, when we come into sharing, the first thing you do is take inventory of yourself and see where you are December 29 of the previous year versus where you are December 29 of this year. If you have not noticed a change, you have wasted 365 days. And your cry for the next 3 days of that fast should be, God, burn me out of me. Because if you cannot draw a line as to what transition you have gone through, you have not got there. You have not got there. There should be a lamentation on the inward man. There should be a cry on the inward. There should be a panting in our soul that, God, I want to be like Jesus. Let's go further. Let's go further. Give me Romans 8:28. And we know, everybody shall we know, that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to what? Listen, purification is not for everybody, it's for the called. So you ought to rejoice in your pain that God called me according to what? His purpose. If he didn't trust you, he won't call you. Remember now, he called you because you had a goal. No, you didn't catch it. You didn't catch it. That ought to give you an assurance in God that, God, you have already told me I'm goal. So whatever you do from here, because the devil will try to confuse you that that's punishment. And you have to let the devil know nobody punish gold. You only polish it. You don't punish it. And when God is doing that, he's polishing you. He's making you shining, not punishing you. Shine me, Lord. Oh, I can go to town with this. I can go. All right. Ephesians 1:4. I want to read that quickly. According as he has what? Come on, shout, I'm chosen. You see, this is why you rejoice in your tribulation. You know, when God is refining you and putting you in that fire, and you are burning, and you are saying, God, I'm done. And God touch you and say, no, you still medium rare. You ain't well done yet. You know, and you say, God, I'm done. Don't you know that when you think you are well cooked, it is, and you're really done inside, but God will take you from there and take you to a worse place. It's called smokehouse. Because some of you are done, but you ain't got no flavor. If somebody says something, whom you talking about? Because you done, but... We're going to get into it in training. So, listen, according as he has chosen us, when you know you are chosen, you do different, you act different. But when I know you are chosen, I better respect that. And when God see me respecting that you are chosen, do you know what? God will elevate me. And when you see me respecting you are chosen, and you are respecting me because you know I'm chosen, you don't just respect Bishop, you respect one another. One another. Hold the door for one another. Reserve a seat for one another. Let this mind be in you. We have to change the way we are. We have to change. If there's one thing we will use to take Memphis, it will be our hospitality. It will be the dignity we give it one another. All right, let me, according as he has chosen us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be what? Holy and without blame before him. How? In love. Oh, this is a message by itself. That our holiness and without blame is in love. Because if I love you so much, Ain't nothing you can do wrong. Ain't nothing, because I don't look at your wrong. I don't count your wrong. All I'm building up is your right. Oh my God, is your right. You know, I can see that your hair is messy, and I start talking about your glasses. Oh my God, look how your glasses curve. The way you are without blame is in love. Is in love. All right. God's purpose is to purify us. That is his purpose, is to purify us. But God, even though his purpose is to purify us, he has a plan to do it. He has a plan to do it. His plan is twofold. His plan is what he's supposed to do and what you're supposed to do. Purification. You see, God never forced anything on us. But I have explained to you now that his purpose is for us to be like Christ. He wants us to be like Christ and blah, blah, blah. That's his purpose. But when he comes to the plan or how he will do it, he charged himself to do certain things. And when he do those certain things, he charge you to do certain things. And when you do those certain things, you don't have to worry about his. He will do his first. Then the plan of his purification for you will be completed. But guess what? He has done his part. So tonight I want to show you your part, so that you can make this work. God's part was Jesus. I want to show you how he put his part. His part was Jesus, because before there can be a purification, Jesus has to suffer and die and provide an accounting term that is called propitiation. Propitiation for our sin. A payment in lieu of. He has to provide a payment in lieu of. Let's look at this. Ephesians 1 and 22. Let me show you God's part. Give me Ephesians 1 and 22. Let's see how God fulfilled his part. Now he has reconciled you by Christ's physical body through the death, so that he can present you holy in his sight, without blemish and free from accusation. His reconciliation process is through the physical body of Jesus Christ, so that he can now present you. So God has done his part. He sent his son first, the just for the unjust, so that we can be reconciled back to God. That's his part. He has done his part. Now, let's look at Colossians 1 and 22. In the body of his flesh through death, to present you holy and unblameable and unreprovable in his sight. That is how he did his part. He did his part by taking his only begotten son and physically, in the body of his flesh through death, physically. That is his part. That is that silver in the fire. He burned himself so that he can present you holy, unblameable, unreprovable in his sight. Let's look Titus 2 and 14. Titus 2 and 14 says, who gave himself for us, that he might redeem us from all iniquity, and do what? Purify unto himself. He's the judge. He is the judge, and he knows what it takes for you to be purified, that he will accept is to give himself. Oh God, look at this double dichotomy. He has to give himself in order to purify you so he can accept you. That is the power of the cross. That is, and purify you unto himself a peculiar people, zealous of good work. Oh God, this is so real. God has done his part. He has purified you. This is the process of purification. So when we are talking about the silversmith putting you on fire, remember how we started. The Bible says he sits there himself and looking. So the flame of the fire is on him as much as it's on you. But you didn't see that flame until now. We see that what he did was that he gave himself. He gave himself to stand by the fire because the hand he's holding you with is feeling the same flame that you are feeling. If only you know what Jesus went through to redeem you. If only we have an idea, the extent. Oh, we just think, oh, he came and he died on the cross. It's not that easy. It's not that easy for him to die when he has the power to release himself. That's why he has to hold you. Because if he didn't hold you in the fire, you're going to jump out. You're going to jump out. He has to hold you in there and say, my son, don't jump out. You will thank me afterwards. This is for your purification. When you start shining, you will be thankful. Oh, how many times I thank God that the things I would have done that would have messed me up, that the places I would have gone that would have cut me off of the blessing that I'm enjoying now. How I'm so thankful that God held me in that fire and never let me step outside. Otherwise, I can do what I'm doing now. I would not be where I am now. But it was the hand of the Lord that sat by the fire and held me to the flame. Hallelujah. Stand to your feet.
Thank you for watching. I'm sure you were richly blessed by this message. For more life-changing messages from Bishop Wesley Arije, visit us on social media. To know more about Pavilion of Hope, please visit our website at www.pavilionofhope.net or join us as a special guest for our transformation service every Sunday at any of our locations closest to you. Pavilion of Hope, where faith is renewed and hope is restored.